Alrighty. Welcome everyone to the DIDI Walk Through a Sheet of Paper workshop. Today we will be having this workshop with our Dean, Hani Fuller. But before we begin, we're going to show you a short video. So enjoy the workshop.
No great thing, no beautiful invention happened just like that. It happens when we leave our comfort zone and embrace change, creativity, and out of the ordinary. We live in interesting times. We live in a world that's constantly asking questions, that's constantly changing. In a world where blockchain and robots will be the norm, where 85% of tomorrow's jobs don't exist yet, where being multi-skilled is not just celebrated, but essential. At Dubai Institute of Design and Innovation, we believe that we need to prepare you for the future, to teach you skills that will power your tomorrow. Today, design matters more than ever. But how can design help, you may ask? We combine disciplines so you become well-rounded. From product design, multimedia design, fashion design, strategic design management, it's where you will learn how to merge different design disciplines. Presenting a 4-year Bachelor of Design degree in collaboration with MIT and Parsons' new School of Design. DIDI, not just another design university.
Okay, Hani, over to you.
Thank you, Razan. Assalamu alaikum jamian. Hope you are all doing well and healthy. So great to have so many of you join us as part of the Summer Youth Program. I'm very excited to be with you today. I'm the Dean of DIDI and I love design. What can I say? So today I'm going to share with you behind the scenes of how designers think, and because it's a very important skill to have this type of visual learning. So I'm going to start without much ado, share my slides with you, and basically I'll explain everything in a minute. So let me move this away. So today's workshop is called Walk Through a Sheet of Paper, which sounds like an impossible thing to do. Think like a designer, which sounds like an oxymoron of sorts. So we want you to actually break the impossible and make the possible, possible. That's what we want to do. So the first thing we want to do is go to menti.com. And if you go to menti.com, there's a code that you need to enter, which is 99697. And there'll be questions. There'll be 3 questions that I'll be asking you in order that we can start the workshop, break through the workshop. So we are now here, and I should be seeing you joining this slide. The first question is, what do you expect to learn today? I would expect you to join. So the code is 99697, menti.com. You can use your phone or your laptop. So great, I see people joining. Creativity, out of the box thinking, how to design, innovation, excellent. You are getting into this. Okay, how to lock out creativity, how to design, keep them coming. Fibonacci sequence, that's right, we'll be looking at that. And innovation, basics of design, important design skills, paper, yes, we learn about paper, laugh out loud. Simplicity, excellent. Excellent. So I hope to cover most of these, get new ideas of design, creative thinking, out of the box thinking. Excellent. Keep them coming. I see 22. I'd like to see more because it should be 50 people at least. So keep them coming. Unorthodox, natural patterns. If I don't read your statement, don't feel bad. It's just that they're moving so fast, as you can see, that I won't be able to catch them all. I'll try to go. Creative brainstorming, unorthodox. Islamic patterns, not today. It's actually tomorrow. We won't be talking about that, although tomorrow's workshop will be about the Islamic pattern. So that's okay. Artistic perspective, get new ideas of design, fun. Yes, it's going to be fun. I promise that. Principles, be creative. Excellent. Keep them coming, people. This is wonderful. Tips on designing, type design. We have a separate workshop on type design. We won't be talking about type design today, unfortunately, but we'll be talking about how to think like a designer. But we have a workshop on type. Make sure that you sign up for it once we have it out there. I don't think we give it until the fall, though. Future, getting creative, get new ideas of design. Amazing. This is great. This is great. So we have almost 50. So let's move on to make sure that we do here. So now I have a question for you. Is how well can you draw? There are 4 possible ratings. You have to, I draw like an angel, meaning fantastically. I can visually express myself. You don't want me on your Pictionary team, you know, the Pictionary game where you have to draw ideas. I'm not creative at all. So where do you see yourself in this web? If you are joining recently, go to menti.com, menti.com, and enter the code 99697. Good, I see a lot of direction towards visually express myself, which is awesome. Some people feeling not so creative. We'll explore that in the next question. You don't want me on your Pictionary team, okay. I draw like an angel. I promise you by the end of this workshop, I want you all to move to the upper right corner of this diagram between I draw like an angel to I can visually express myself. Because we all have it in us. And this is part of the workshop today, is how are we going to move towards the right? It seems that the majority are in that specific quadrant, which is great. It's just the ones that don't feel creative and don't want me on your Pictionary team. I want you to move. I think this workshop is going to help you move to the right side of the diagram. So that's good. All right. So okay, this seems to have stopped. Although we have about 60 people, I'd like more participation in these questions because it's fun. So let's do the last one. And I think I'm not creative because someone told me I cannot draw. Happens a lot. I saw others draw better than me, and that's in quotation marks. I hate for my work to be judged, so maybe I'm creative, but I don't show my work, so I stop being creative. Actually, I think I'm super creative. What kind of question are you asking me? And maybe you don't think you're creative for other reasons that we didn't list. So let's see how you rank these. Let's see where we stand with this group. Good, look at that. 80% already are saying I'm super creative. That's awesome. Okay, and it's okay if you are in the lower ranks of this because we're going to fix that today. Okay, someone told me I cannot draw. Yeah, I told you this happens a lot. So about 20% feel that someone told them they cannot draw, like someone telling you cannot sing. And that's so disruptive to say because everyone can sing and everyone can draw. Today I'm going to prove that. Yeah. Yeah, good. So 1/3 is actually super creative, and the other one feels other people can draw better than me. No matter what you do in life, there's always someone who will do it better than you, but that should never stop you. That's another message I want to impart on you today, that don't give up, just keep trying. at DIDI, we don't judge people on the way they draw. We're more interested in your ideas, and we're going to help you express yourself visually. So that's great. So now what we're going to do, we're going to switch back to the slides. Let's see. Oh, here we go. And so thank you for doing Menti. Now you got the hang of it. And basically what we're going to do now is to tell you what I expect us to do today. So the first thing we're going to do, you need to open your eyes and look. The second thing I need you to do is we're going to do some drawing exercises. And the last exercise is actually making exercise. We're going to make a portal through a piece of paper because we'll have to go through it. So these are the three things that a designer does. We look, we observe, we draw, we express ourselves visually, and then we make things, we make prototypes. So if you learn those skills and you're comfortable with them, you are already on your way to become a designer. What you will need today are the drawing tools, and there's a window called drawing. Can you see it? I want to make sure I have my hand moving there. I have my drawing tools there. Can you see it? I just want to make sure you're seeing it. And because we'll be looking at that as well as the drawing tools. There'll be a drawing space that you need. So you need your drawing tools, you need a space to draw, and you need access to Menti, which we've already done. So that was a good training to get you to use it. And what you will see, on one screen, you will see my slides and sometimes me talking through the slides. You will also see the drawing slide, which is where my hand is now moving around. And you will see the Menti when I share the results with you. So these are the three things we'll be seeing. So let's start. We start with several, we're going to cover a lot of ground. The first one is talking about paper and understanding how it's made. We're going to look at the golden ratio, which is very important dimension and system in design. We're going to look at the Fibonacci. I don't know how you found out, maybe you've taken this workshop before. I'll explain all of these. We're going to talk about what box, because you talked about thinking outside the box. I'm going to give you how DIDI approaches this question. Combinations, colors, words, squiggle birds, Mr. Triangles, face, and in the end, we're going to walk through a paper. So I hope you have your scissors handy. So let's start. So paper is special. What I usually like to run my workshops is to give some theoretical background in the beginning. So it's not just doing things, but it's also learning new things. So let's look quickly at how paper is made. This is how the Egyptians, ancient Egyptians, around 5,000 years ago, made paper. So they would get the lotus, which is a common plant in the Nile basin, and they would strip it and use the stripping, and then they would put it on layers, which is basically perpendicular to each other, on top of each other, and then they would pound them, bang, 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 and they would pound them so the fibers would start to get mushy and bind themselves to each other. On the left, you can see what a papyrus plant looks like, and the big image is showing you how it actually looks. This is actual papyrus skin placed in that format. And if you've been to Egypt, you probably collected a souvenir like this one, which is made on papyrus. This is an ancient one from the times. You can see different scripts on it. We can see hieroglyphics. Here we can see drawings, and we can see, I'm not sure what this is, but this is a different language on the same sheet. And also the Chinese invented paper, a different kind, not that different, but in a way it's a more refined way. And this is about 2,000 years ago. And this system I got from DK books. If you know DK books, they're fantastic. So because they show a lot of information visually, it's great for designers. So the Chinese approach, the ancient Chinese approach, is to collect bamboo and strip it and then lay it and soak it in water so it becomes soft and like pulp, and then it is flattened, and it is basically made into pulp, meaning like a paste, becomes pasty, and then they flatten it so it's thin, and then it's dried and pressed so it becomes a sheet of paper. And here's a sample of what that looks like. This is also an ancient piece of paper. As opposed to the papyrus, you don't see the crisscrossing, and you don't see the veins of the lotus. Here it's more smooth because of the pulping process. Now, today we follow a similar technique, but it's more industrial. So today this is how we make paper. We start by logging, stripping the logs like we strip the bamboo and the lotus. Then we place the stripped bark inside a chipping machine, chipped, and then it goes through a chemical process which creates the pulping. Then the second phase is the paper making, where we then treat the pulp, flatten it, press it, dry it, and then it's finished. So this is a drawing. However, I want you to see this plant in Abu Dhabi. This is what actually paper making looks like. This is the Crown Paper Mill in Abu Dhabi. You can see how the paper roll goes through different phases, and some of these are like 8.5 meters wide. Of course, printers, we don't use paper that big in print shops, so what we need to do is to cut it down to a size that is usable. And this is another mill in Abu Dhabi. This is Etihad Paper Mill. I just wanted to show you that we have these mills in the region. And then we have, then they are packaged and rolled, different sized rolls, different thicknesses, different things. Then they are taken into another place where they are packaged. This is a machine in China by Kingsun. It's just the one I could find a good picture of. And basically it takes those sheets and starts to cut them down to size. Here you can see them. They're being cut into smaller rolls. And then this machine takes the rolls and cuts them into what we're familiar with, which is the A4 paper. And then it's packaged with the brand. So here you can see the packaging coming in from the side. The paper is cut, comes through here in reams of 500, and then they are packaged and ready to go. And this is more or less how we see paper at the end of the process. Now, you can imagine, because there's a lot of processing happening, a lot of chemicals working, there's a lot of pollution that happens. This is the one in Abu Dhabi, this is Etihad. You can see how much heavy industries taking place in order to produce a sheet of paper. And that's why we need to be very conscious and help the paper mills not cut down any more raw material like trees, but because they go into the factory, they go to us, we use them in our schools, our home. And that's why we need to recycle. We recycle this, it goes to the recycling plant, and guess what? The recycled paper can go back into the process and bypass entirely, so this is good, it gets a star, it bypasses having to cut more trees. So recycling is great for the environment because we cut less trees. Now I hope you understand why it says save the trees, recycle. I hope this helps you understand the process. So it makes the trees happy, makes our planet happy. So here we are. This is a piece of paper, how it looks, and knowing now how complex it is and how resource intensive the process is, I want us not to take a simple piece of paper for granted anymore. What I'd like us to do also is to think of the piece of paper as a humble and great design that requires a lot of thinking, even though it's so simple, like all these simple designs that we live with, like the paper clip, the thimble, the pencil, the big pen, the this thing, the Post-it, here's the big pen, here's the, you can see my other screen, I hope. Yeah, I can see it now. And then great design objects, even the sugar cube is considered a great design object. LED lights, the safety pin, the ball, right? It's so simple. The Band-Aid, and Band-Aids, they need to be more BLM. So right now they're designed for white people, but then now they're, I think Band-Aids now waking up to that. So these ideas come from, every once in a while, I'll give you a resource that you can follow up on your own. This is from a wonderful book called Humble Masterpieces. I'm not sure the paper is in it. If it's not, it should be. This is from the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Paola Antonelli is a curator, and so she has, these are just sample pages. So every spread is a beautiful, everyday marvel of design. So I want you to think for a second. Can you think of a humble and great design, and join me on Menti? Join me on Menti so that we can have your thoughts joined with us. So I'm going to share the Menti page with me. So join me on Menti. So, and tell me what you think is a humble and great design, like the ones that we just saw, these simple designs that we take for granted. This is the power of design. I think we take it for granted. Yes, gum, that's a good one. Let's see what else we got. Water bottle, yes. And I actually use glass. Here's my glass water bottle. I don't use plastic because it's not good for the environment. I don't know what the Q is, but maybe you need to retype that. What else do you think is a great and humble design? Hairpins, good. Keep them coming, people. Yeah, the light switch. Yeah, we take that for granted. The hairbrush, the bottle made of plastic. Calculators. Yeah, pencils, pouches, phones. I would say that phones and calculators are not really humble, but they're quite complex. What I'm thinking, I want you to look at are even simpler things. A bag, for instance, that's so simple, like a tote bag. And then metal wires, yes, door handle, yes, you're getting it. So let's look for simple things. Books. Books are beautiful. They are complex though, because they require so many pieces. Think like the paper clip, like here's a paper clip, and it's just made of one piece of metal, like a coat hanger maybe, might be a good one. A t-shirt, okay, that's good. Scrunchie, that's a great one. It's so simple and it works, and because it's coiled, it works. Yeah, when you say art supplies, try to be specific. Try to say, like, what art supply? Maybe you mean a marker, like this one. It's so simple, right? So, good. Excellent. So, just to keep the rhythm going, I'm going to switch back to my other slides so we can continue. And you can go back to these. Glue is a good one. Yeah, I just saw that one. Okay. So we did the humble and great. And now we're looking back at this piece of paper. And if you hold it, what we want to do today is create this portal, like a doorway that you walk through it. And on the other side is the world that we thought was impossible. It's the possible world. It's where creativity lies. And we're going to cross it. Because if you hold a piece of paper, it's going to be, what's the word? Opaque. You cannot walk through a piece of paper. First of all, you are maybe 5 times the size of a piece of paper. How can you walk through it? We're going to find out. So if you touch it, it's opaque. We're going to make the impossible possible. So a sheet of paper A4 is 1 dimension of a paper. It actually, its ancestor is the A0. And the A0, if you compare it to, these are students, and you compare it to a size of a person, A0 is quite large, and the A4 is the one that we usually use for writing on in class. A1 is actually the same proportion as the A0, and it's half the size, so it's magical. A2 is half the A1, A3 half, and A4, A5, A6, and you can keep continuing going. So the A0 is the standard one, and what's weird about it is its dimensions. Its dimensions are 8 84.1 centimeters by 118.9. And you go, wait, this is so weird. Why this dimension? It's actually a magical dimension. Magical? What do you mean by magical? Let's take a look. So if you take 1189 and you multiply it by 841, can you guess what you're going to get? You're going to get 1 square meter. Try it yourself, and you're going to find out that 118.9 times 84.1 is actually 1 square meter. Now, we could have made the paper square, right? We could have made it square. That's much easier to do. If you did it 1 meter by 1 meter, it's going to be 1 meter square. But what's magical about this dimension is that any way you cut it in half, it maintains the proportion. If you think about it, if you cut a square in half, you're not going to get a square. But this proportion, this magical proportion, every time you cut it in half, it's going to maintain the proportion, the same proportion. How do I know? Because the diagonals form a 90-degree angle, right? So A5, A6, you see, and they all fit within it. So let's try to understand proportion in a new way. So I'm going to show you 3 Paisleys. This shape is called Paisley after a town in Scotland, which was producing Kashmiri products of this pattern. Now in Emirati, this is a cashew pattern, like the cashew. And in different languages, it is pronounced and said in a different way. In the English language, it's called Paisley after this town in Scotland that produced them following patterns found in the East. Here's another one. And here's another one. So these are 3 ones, and I'm going to ask you to tell me or rank them, which one seems to you the coolest one? Which is the cool Paisley? Sorry, everything froze here. 1 second. Yeah, oops. Did I just crash?
Hani, we can still see and hear you.
You can still see, but my screen just turned. I'm glad you can still see it, because I can see Armin's screen. Right, so yeah, something happened. Okay, so let me reopen it. Sorry about that, people. We're going to go to Menti anyway. So I'm going to share the Menti slide now because we have a question for you. Bubble came. Okay, so now I want you to tell us, to share with us, which one do you think is the coolest one? The feels right. Which is the one that feels right to you? Are you on the Menti page? I don't see anyone yet. Are you voting? I'm getting some errors. I think my laptop is reaching its end. All right. Are we voting? Where's everybody? Are you on the Menti page?
Yes, we are voting. We are voting.
You are voting. Okay, thank you for telling me, because right now nothing's changing on my screen.
Yes, sir, we are voting.
Yes, number 2.
Okay. Yeah. Enter. It's weird. Yeah, everything went blank for a second. Blank. And then PowerPoint shut down. So, and now this one's not working. So you are voting, but I'm having technical issues.
Hani, almost everyone is voting for the second one, just FYI.
Okay, so let me see. Maybe if I do this. No. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. So let me try and thank you. saying, let me see.
Sir, why don't you reload the page?
That's what I'm doing. Thank you. That's a good suggestion. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to reload the page. Okay, what's this one? Okay, something is wrong. I'm going to reload it entirely. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I had my screen completely turned blank. I think a system error happened, but we're going to fix it. Don't worry. We have a good team and we're going to do it. So most of you voted for number 2, right?
Yes.
This is what it sounds like. Yeah. And okay. We did that. We did that.
Sir's the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's working. Thank you for telling me to reboot. Okay, so now it's working. Good. You can see my screen, right? You can see that 100% voted
Yes.
for Paisley 2, and that is what most people do. Of course there's no right answer with this one, but most people would actually have said that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because innately in our human system, we basically like, so most of us voted for this one, right? And what basically what it is, okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so most of you voted for this one, and basically it is because it follows the golden ratio. It fits perfectly in the golden ratio. And you're going to ask me, what is the golden ratio? This is what we're going to find out now. So the golden ratio is a ratio of 3 to 5, more or less. Or if you divide the sides, it's a 0.6, or if you flip 0.6, it's 1.6. So some people say 1.6, some people say 0.6. I say 0.6 because it's 3 over 5. It's easier to remember. So let's look at that, and let's do the first drawing exercise. We're going to draw a golden rectangle. This is a very important rectangle in design. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, can you draw a square? So make sure you are drawing your square on your sheet of paper, and we'll call this square, we call it side B, okay? So can you see my slides? Can you see the square on the screen?
Do we draw it actually on a piece of paper?
Yes, draw it. Can you see what do you see on your screen now? Can you tell me?
A square and
Yes.
one of its sides labeled B.
Perfect. This is what I want you to be looking at. So if you want, I can do it with you live, but on the screen is enough. I don't want to distract you. Look at my main screen. And then let's find the midpoint of segment B. So the easiest way to do that by drawing is to draw the diagonals, find the center point of the square, and drop a perpendicular to the edge of B, okay, to B. So now we found the midpoint of B. Okay, this should be straightforward. You don't have to draw, you can eyeball it as well. You don't have to get it precisely there. Now, what I want you to do is to draw a line from B to the upper right corner, and we'll call that point C. So draw that line from B, midpoint of B, to the upper right corner, and we'll call that C, C for corner. And now the blue line that I have here is going to be a radius. So imagine you have a compass. I forgot to tell you to bring a compass. It's okay. And extend this line with a center at B as if you're drawing an arc. You see that? Can you do that? I'm going to show you again. So do that. Draw, extend like a radius BC all the way down so it extends line B. Okay? And then I assume you have done that. And now what I want you to do is to extend all the way, draw a rectangle that completes that arc, that closes that arc. And you will notice we will call it A, it's the orange one, and the vertical is B because it came from the square. You see the height of it is the same height as the square, which is B. Okay, are you with me? So in the end, you should have a square and a rectangle that's smaller than the square. And this is the golden section. This is the golden rectangle because it's made of the golden ratio. And the golden ratio has to do with the relationship of this rectangle A in relation to the square B. What is that relationship? It's an interesting one. It is so that A over B equals 0.618 or 0.6 to simplify it. And again, A over B is 0.618. So its side to the height is the same as the two sides of it. So it becomes progressive. And then if you then say now B over A plus B, okay, is the same as A over B. So A over B and B over A plus B, wow, this becomes progressive. It's like the paper. It's like A over B is the same as A over B is the same as B over A plus B. I know it's confusing, but I want you just to look at it and not think of it. Just look at it and you'll understand it. So the proportion is always the same. It's going to be progressive. Now you can do it with numbers, and in numbers it's called phi. And the formula is that phi equals half the square root of 5 over 2. But that's not how designers think. We think this way. We don't think this way. Mathematicians think this way. It makes a lot of sense for a mathematician because they know that the diagonal of a square is square root of 5. But we know diagonal of a square is actually is going to be forming a triangle, two triangles inside a square. We look at it visually. Let's look at this. So we started with a square, added a rectangle, and if we draw a diagonal, this is how we see diagonal, and we draw a diagonal perpendicular to it, we get to the other rectangle, which completes the square, etc., etc., etc. It's just so much fun to play with this visually. So what you need to do at the end is to remember that the proportion of the golden ratio is 3 to 5. So if you're not sure what you want to do, just draw a rectangle that's 3 by 5, and you're going to get a beautiful shape. Like you noticed the paisley fit in that shape. It's just natural for humans to gravitate towards this dimension. And this is the golden ratio. It's magical. Let's take a look at how it is. It can fit a perfect spiral, and the ancient Greeks knew about it, and they basically designed their temples following and fitting the golden ratio. And that's why we still think the Parthenon is a perfect piece of art. Even the entablature actually meets the line where the first boxes come in. So it's all built along that proportion. A nautilus shell fits in it. The human face fits in it. And Leonardo da Vinci knew about this rule when he painted the Mona Lisa. Maybe that's why we think it's the perfect painting. There are other reasons, but notice how where he puts the hemline of her dress actually follows the same proportion, and where he places the hand. So everywhere you look at it, the golden section is working in this painting. And even where the square, if you draw the square below, you will get that the face and the torso are following the same proportion. Leonardo knew this. He didn't know. No, he knew about these rules because they're ancient rules. And if you go online, you'll find a lot of studies about the Mona Lisa and the golden ratio. The human ear follows the same with the spiral going there. This chair by Le Corbusier and Charlotte Perriand from 1929, it follows the same rules. And I'm not sure, this is a joke. I found this. And this is not a joke. The people who make cigarettes, they know that we like, as humans, the golden section. So guess what? They make the cigarette case the shape of, in the proportions there. And notice that where this line is, they could have made it any proportion they wanted. They could have placed this line anywhere, but actually forms the square and the rectangle. So because they know that this is naturally that we like. In my case, I asked you about Paisleys, but if they gave you 3 boxes of cigarettes, you're going to go for this one. And they're trying to seduce you and entice you to buy more of their stuff. It's a very practical dimension because we use it for the credit cards and the IDs, which are the same proportion. And if you're a designer, you might as well use it. This is a piece of furniture I found that uses it. So, and then it breaks it down into these things. Now, what's interesting is that it follows not just the golden ratio, it follows something that we call the Fibonacci series. And the golden ratio is very much related to the Fibonacci series. It's not the same thing, but they are very close to each other. So for all intents and purposes, we use it that way. So the Fibonacci series starts with squares of proportion 1 to 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And then from 13, it goes to, oh, there's a bunny there. Why is the bunny there? Let's find out. What's he doing there? The bunny comes from Mr. Fibonacci. I mean, his name is Bonacci, but he's from Fibonacci, town near Pisa called Fibonacci. And he was working in the 12th century, which is a long time ago, which is 1,000 years ago, almost. And he's an Italian mathematician, and he is the one that brought the Arabic numerals into the Western world. He was fascinated with numbers. He was a tradesman, so he did numbers and trading, and he got exposed to Arabic. He spoke Arabic, he wrote Arabic, and he translated a lot of the Arabic math from this part of the world into medieval Europe. At the time, Europe was considered in the Dark Ages. And he developed the Fibonacci series because he wanted to count how many rabbits, that's where the bunny, oh, now I know where the bunny. So he counted how many rabbits are actually going to reproduce if he gets 2 bunnies and they actually mate, what will they produce? And so he discovered that from 1 bunny, he can get 2 bunnies, and from 2 bunnies, he can get 3, and then from 3, he can get 5, and then from 5, he will get 8. So this is the sequence, and you can see on the bottom, the proportion, what that means. So you can see the rectangle is shrinking, and it becomes more or less stable around 3 to 5, 5 to 8, and now 8 to 13. And now I'm going to ask you, what comes after that? So let's go back to Menti, and we're going to actually find out, you're going to tell me what comes after this. Did you recognize the pattern? Do you see this pattern? Let's see what comes after that. So let's see. So the question for you, my friends, is, come on to Menti. 99697 is the code. I'm seeing you joining. Amazing. Let's go. Yep, good. Now we're 20. We need to get more. Yeah, I see Sweden. Amazing. I see a lot of faces. I want us to reach 30 at least to do this exercise. So I just need 2 more, 3 more. Yes, okay, so now everyone can join anytime, but we're going to start the quiz. So, so we're starting the quiz. So if you answer fast, you get the faster. So here's your bunny. And what comes after 13? Is it 23, 28, or 21? Let's see. How many bunnies is he going to have? Is Fibonacci going to have? if he had 13 bunnies, what's the next number of bunnies he's going to get? Giving you a little time to think about it. There's a pattern that you will find. And if you don't find it now, it's okay. I'm going to show you what it is, but I want you to think about it, as I know you can get the answer right. All right, time's up. Let's see what we got. All right, 31 of you. Most of you got the answer right, 21. So let's see what the next question is. We're going to see the leaderboard, see how you guys did. And we have Fatima in the lead with Hana, Harshi, Far, May, Dina, F, Mira, Khadija, Aisha, and so many more. Unfortunately, it doesn't show me except the top 10. So, and Fatima was the fastest. So maybe Hana, next time you'll be faster on the next question. So the next question I have for you is, how did you figure it out? How did you figure it out? Did you multiply 7 by 3 to get 21? Was it a lucky guess? Or you were adding the last two numbers, meaning 8 plus 13? Let's see how you got it. Time's up. Okay, so you added the last two numbers. 10 of you were a lucky guess. That's incredible. And multiplying 7 by 3.
Or multiply 7.
Okay, so the correct answer is the Fibonacci works by adding the last two numbers together. So now we're going to do one more, and now you understand it. So you have to add the last two numbers. So 8 plus 13 is 21. That's the next number in the sequence. Hana, I think you're getting the lead now. You were the fastest, so that's good. Let's see Harshi now, if you're going to make it. And I will see you tomorrow at the class, I hope. So let's see. Okay, so now the third question is, oh, I get it now. So the next blank value after 8, 13, 21 is, so what you have to do, you have to add the last two numbers to get the next number in the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm giving you a little time to do some arithmetic. So you need to remember, add the last two numbers. I cannot give you any more hints than that, other than giving you what the answer is. So you should get this. I would like to see 100% on this one. I would like to see A+ for you all. Okay, so I'm giving you time to make sure, double check your math. So is it 43, 34, or 42? If you add them up, what do you get? Let's see what we got. Time is up. Okay, let's see. Yes, yes. We almost got 100%. That's awesome. If you got 42, we just need to work on your arithmetic skills. So what we did, we added 13 and 21 to get the pattern. Let's see how we did. Let's see who is on the leaderboard. The top 10 are Hana, Harshi, I think you're going to go up. Yes, oh yes. And then Farh, you were the fastest. Maybe next round you'll be on top. It's good to share the top. Mira, May, Dina, Vroom, Khadija, Homer, and Muskan from Sweden. So now we're going to go back to my slides. And where is it? Yeah, here. Okay, and then we did that. So 13, 21, 21. We add 13 plus 21 is 34. And if you notice at the base, you will see that we are still in the ratio of 0.618, which is exactly the golden number. So from 3 to 5 onwards, it's going to be the golden section. So what does this all mean? Let's look at it now again. 1 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 to 8 to 13. What we're going to do now is we're going to create a spiral together. So if you take the squares and you just draw a circle, like an arc from corner to corner, so from this corner to this corner, from this corner to that corner, from this corner to this corner, what do you get? You get a perfect spiral. So we're going to do that now. I want you to take out your graph paper, and we're going to draw a spiral just from drawing squares. Okay, it's crazy. Like, if you go tell your friends, I'm going to, you can play with your friends and say, can you guys draw a spiral just from drawing squares? So on your graph paper, you can see my hand there. Start from somewhere in the upper right and draw a square. And I'm going to draw both on both screens, so you can see that one there. And to the right of it, draw another square of size 1. So in the grid, just make it 1 by 1. Okay, they're slightly different, the ones there, but you get it.
Sir, your voice keeps on disappearing for me.
Oh, is this better? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thanks for telling me. So what we're going to do is draw a square here. Just look at my drawing screen. Don't look at the other screen because they're different slightly. That's one. And so if you count 1, 2, 3, I want you to draw a square that is 3, 1, 2, 3, goes up, 3, look at that. It comes perfectly there. So this is 1, 1, 2, 3. What's the next one after 3? Remember, it's going to be 3 plus 1 plus 1, which is 5. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go there, and magically it's going to close your square. So now we are at 5. 5 plus 1 plus
Which
2.
screen are you talking about? I can't see a screen. Only the one with 1, 1, and 2. That's all I can see.
Oh, can you look at the one called drawing? Drawing.
Oh, where does it say?
There's
Drawing.
a user called Drawing that the video is on. Click on that and you'll see it.
Okay.
You found it? So I'm shaking my hand now. You can see my hand shaking?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So now we have 5 plus 1 plus 2. How much is that? That's 8. So we're going to count till 8. You know how to count till 8, I hope? And you extend this one and you go down and it's perfectly 8. And the same thing, so this is 8. So 8 plus 2 plus 3 is going to be 13. So count 13, count the squares on your graph paper and go all the way. Now you don't have to, on the way back, you don't have to count because you know it's going to end up there because these are all squares. So after 13, my paper is going to fit only up till 21. So let's check. 13 plus 3, that's 16, plus 5, it's 21. Magic. So we're just adding them up. Now we know why we're adding them up. So we go all the way. Sorry, it's getting a bit bumpy, but you get the idea. Okay. So you should have another square. Of course, you can continue to the next square, which is adding 21 plus 13, which would be, as you know, 34. So you see how that is? If you have that, let me know. I'm going to bring my slides up to the same speed. So now to draw the spiral, so now you remember the question is, how can we draw a spiral from squares? So I got my red marker. So the first thing I want you to do is to start from the inner one and draw like an arc connecting the corners and then do the same. So 1 to 1. And now from the 2, continue that arc from corner to corner, pick up that point and go all the way there. So what we're doing like an arc connecting a far corner to where you left off. So the 5 make it nice and curvy. And with an 8, we want to end up here. So we draw. Okay, I'm going to stop so you can catch up with me in case you haven't. Okay, you should have a nice spiral forming. Okay, now we've done. And then what we want to do is connect the far corner, the diagonal, but we want to make it nice and round. Oh, that wasn't good. So you want to make it round. Yeah, I didn't do that well. So ignore that part. And now you want, it's going to be harder now because it's bigger, but for me, it's easier to start from the other side. So there, so we have now a fabulous spiral. Is that fabulous? And you have answered the question, can you draw a spiral from squares? And the magical answer is yes. And that's why the hint is think Fibonacci. Did you do that? Was it fun? Did it work?
Yes.
Awesome. So now why is the spiral so important? Because it appears in nature. And it was this gentleman in Germany who made the connection. Like Fibonacci was busy counting rabbits. He wasn't drawing spirals. It was actually Zeising who made the connection 700 years later. He made the connection. Oh my God, the Fibonacci and nature, they work together. So here's a plant that follows the Fibonacci. These are all images from nature where you see the spiral forming because it's following the Fibonacci or the golden ratio for that matter. Look at this hurricane hitting Washington, D.C. It's perfect spiral. It's perfect Fibonacci. Here's another image. Isn't that awesome? This is over Iceland. It's just mind-boggling that this is how nature works. This is a galaxy. It follows that. This is a plant. So you have a galaxy, you have a plant, you have a cone, you have another plant. Look how beautiful those spirals are. And the flower seeds inside the sunflower. And you thought the sunflower was yellow, right? And then another thing I want you to notice is that it's not only the Fibonacci that works, there's another layer, which is the golden angle. What is the golden angle? So we have the golden ratio, and related to it is the golden angle. So if I draw a circle and I break down the perimeter of the circle into the proportion of 0.6, what I get is this strange angle called the golden angle, which is 137.5. Okay, this is the golden angle. And if you keep adding it, you actually can generate how the flowers are growing. Now, this won't make sense until I show you this video. So we're going to watch this short video just to see, okay, how that works. Just a second as it loads. Okay, this is by So isn't that amazing how that works? So that's why we like those things. If you're interested in this kind of thing, there's a wonderful little book called Universal Principles of Design. We have this book available. Yeah, tell me. Hello?
Lagging.
ما عم بسمع. So we have this book available in our library if you'd like to look at it at DIDI. Now we're going to switch gears and think about the box itself. So I want you to know that as designers, we are usually allergic. We're allergic to cliches. I don't know if you know what cliches are. Cliches are things that are overused, that people use all the time, and they don't know what they mean and they lose their meaning. Like, we don't like the word innovation. We don't like many words. And we're allergic to words like unique. We don't like that word. Trendy, we don't like that word. Edgy, we don't like that word. Attracts the eye, that drives me crazy. Because these are like, they are so vague, they don't mean anything, and everyone throws them around, bandies them around. They don't mean anything. At design school, we want to do unique things, but we need to explain why they are unique. Because if you go anywhere, people say, oh, this is unique. If everything's unique, then nothing's unique. The same thing with trendy and edgy. These are just superficial and very shallow. They don't give you a deeper meaning of things. Things have to be meaningful. We don't care to make things trendy. We care to make things meaningful. And that's why thinking outside the box drives me crazy. It's just this expression that I don't understand. And so I try to understand where it's coming from. And it's coming from this exercise, which is called the 9-dot problem. So I want you to draw 9 dots on your graph paper, equally spaced. So here I'm going to draw 9 dots. And what I want you to do is to basically connect them with 4 straight lines, okay? 4 straight lines without lifting your hand, and connect them all together without actually passing through the dot twice. So 4 straight lines, the line passes through a dot only one time. And I want you to try that on your paper. You're going to try many times. I'm going to give you 2 minutes because there's so much more I want to cover. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. So on your graph paper, try to connect them. So maybe you go like this, like this, like this. Oh, cannot do that because it's passing twice. You go here and you're stuck. That doesn't work. So then you do another 9. And you try and
we can't really hear you properly.
Yeah?
We can't really hear you properly.
Okay, yeah, because the mic is moving. So I'm going to move the laptop. So what I want you to do then is to try and connect them by 4. So let's say I move this one here, here. This is what you're going to do probably. But I want you to find your system, and it's just 4 lines. Just 4 lines. So on the screen.
Teacher, more lag.
Louder, like this? I'm screaming now.
No, lagging.
He says that it's lagging. You're lagging.
I cannot control that. Okay, but you see my screen, right? This is one attempt. This is probably another attempt. Okay, so you can try this exercise with your friends as well. And what you notice is that it's impossible again. So here we face another impossible problem. All these different ways, and it's not working because I'm not connecting all of them and I'm drawing 4 lines. And the problem with this approach is that you are staying inside the 9 squares. So what you need to do, my friends, is to watch and learn. This is one possible solution. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We did it. How did we do that? Let me repeat that. This is one solution. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I want you to note that. And what we did, we went outside the box. And this is where the expression comes from. Thinking outside the box, we left the boundary of the 9 dots. But there wasn't a boundary anyway, so there wasn't a box anyway. We went outside the box and we were able to solve it. And this is what we call lateral thinking, like thinking sideways, breaking the rules. And we do this all the time at DIDI. We don't even have a box, people. There is no box at DIDI. We don't have a box. And when you tell me, let's think outside the box, I'm going to ask you, what box? There is no box. The box is in your imagination. So just get rid of it. Don't let it get there. So when someone asks me, can you think outside the box? What am I going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? I'll say,
There is no box.
There is no box. Thank you. So this is the lesson for that one. So let's now continue our visual and lateral thinking. We're going to go into combinations. As you know, as DIDI, as you saw in the video, we actually offer 4 disciplines: product design, multimedia design, fashion design, and strategic design management. Now, as you also know, our students have to combine 2. So we have these 4, and they can combine 2. And the question we had to ask ourselves as we were developing the program, like, how many programs does that produce? So if every student combines 2 together, how many are going to have? So we figured it out in 2 ways. We figured it out mathematically. So the formula for finding out the permutations is basically this complex one, P and R equals n factorial over n minus r factorial times r factorial. If you're already shaking in your seat, that's pretty normal when you see complex formula. And we know we have 4 disciplines, which are the product, multimedia, fashion, and strategy. And we know that in the permutation or combination, we need 2. So that's what the R stands for. How many in every combination? In our case, it's a pair because students combine 2. So if you do the math, you come up with 6. So it's pretty easy once you figure it out. However, if you think like a designer, there's a much easier way. Forget the left side, and all you have to do is say, I want to combine product and multimedia, that's 1. Multimedia and fashion, I'm just counting lines. 2, fashion and strategy. 3, strategy and product design. 4, there are 2 other possibilities. Can you spot them? Product and fashion and multimedia and strategy. Yes. So how much is that? 6. I'm sorry, but which one's easier and more intuitive? The one on the right. Right? And this is design thinking. And if you see them, yes, we have 6 different disciplines. So now I need your help. Professor Rafi came to me and he said, Mr. Dean, I'm thinking of adding a program called HANI. No, I'm joking, not HANI, Habitat, H-A. And now we need to figure out, and I need your help to figure out how many combinations are going to, we have, how many possible pairs are we going to have if we add this new discipline. So now we have 5 disciplines, and we're going to go to Menti, and you're going to help me tell me what the answer is, because I don't know what it is. I need your help to figure out what it's going to be. So let's go to Menti, and let's see how many disciplines we're going to get. I want you to think about it in different ways. So I'm giving you time, I'm giving you some time to figure out how many pairs are we going to have from 5 disciplines. When we had 4, we produced 6. Now we have 5. How are we going to figure out how many pairs do we have? Okay, I hope you are working this problem out. I need your help. We're still trying to figure
Mister,
it
we
out.
finished?
You finished? Yalla. If everyone finished, it will tell me I can skip the timer. It seems that you finished. That's awesome. Let's see what you got in 30 seconds. Now, suddenly 30 seconds seems like a long time because you're waiting. Okay, almost there. 15 seconds left. Let's see what you got, because I really need to know the answer to this one. I need your help badly. So I need to tell Professor Rafi how many we're going to get. All right, so some of you said 8, some of you said 15, sorry, 10, some of you, 8, sorry, some of you said 10, and some of you said 12. So correct answer is 10, actually. And let's see the leaderboard, the top 10. Let's see if we have new leaders. Yeah, we got Hannah. Harshi, we lost you on that one. You can catch up on the next few. Mira, congrats for being there on top. May, you moved up. Khadija, you're the fastest. So the question now is, how did you solve it? Did you solve it visually? Did you solve it mathematically? Okay, so most of you are visual. Mathematically, 1. No idea. Some of you didn't solve it. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so most of you are visual, and I'm happy to see that. Okay, and another way, I'm curious later, maybe you can tell us in the chat how you did it in the third way. We can learn new ways. So awesome. So now we're going back to the slides. Okay, so we did the combinations, and one way to solve it is by counting, connecting. I hope this is how you did it. 4, 5, 6. Look how it makes a nice pentagram, a 5-sided star. So 10. All you had to do was count them. Count the possible lines. It's so easy to do it that way. But if you do it with numbers, it's not hard. Once you figure it out, now you need 5 disciplines. We have 5 disciplines. We still need 2 in there. If you do the math, you get the same answer. So thank you for helping us, telling us that they will become 10. Now we're going to look at colors. There's a lot of Menti here, so get your Menti thumbs ready, because we're going to do it. So colors interact in a different way. We call this the relativism of color. You don't need to know this big word, but I'm going to ask you, like, which of these green X's is the same color, different color, which is brighter, which is darker. So we're going to go to Menti again to do that. So let's hop onto Menti again, and we're going to stay on Menti for a little bit now. Okay, next one. So look at these two, and the question is, okay, are the X's the same color? Yes or no? Yes, of course. No way. I'm not sure. I don't know. So what do you think? Just look at them. The answer should be through looking, I suppose. Are they the same color? Are you crazy? Of course they're not. I'm not sure. What is it? What do you think it is? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what happened? Okay, so yes, of course. 22 of you got that right. 15 said no way. And visually, you are right. Those of you who said no way are actually looking. And those of you who said yes, of course, it's interesting you got that. Let's see if they are. I'm going to show you the answer. Right, Mira, we lost you on that one. That's okay. You'll have a chance. Khadija, now you are on top. So look, they are the same color. All I did was just to complete the X's. And if you don't believe me, I actually made it on a black background. It's exactly the same color. It's basically colors change based on the background they're on or based to what is next to them. Now look at this diagram also. This is again from Joseph Albers. Here you can see a square, brownish square, and here you can see a different or not. So is this square the same color, different color, or which one is darker? So let's see what Menti is asking us. It's asking us the following. Which square is brighter? Is it the one on the left or the one on the right? Duh, the one on the left, it must be the right one, or they are the identical color. What do you think? What do you see? So thinking and seeing are sometimes two different things. So what do you see or what do you think? Which one is the brighter one? Okay. Oh, wait. There's a lag. Okay. Oh, the one on the left. Oh, it must be the right. They are the identical colors. So half of you got it right, and the other half were wondering. And I'm going to show you after we do the leaderboard, see how we're doing. Okay, Khadija, Farh, I think this is your chance. And you were the fastest, Farh. Well done. All of you well done, honestly. I mean, this is not a competition. This is just for fun. And look, if I extend them, you can still say, no, you are shading. But if I put it against the black color, you will see that it's the same color. It's just incredible how our eyes play tricks. It's the same color. And this is called color relativism. Okay, this is another one. This is the last one. We're going to ask about color. So we're looking at those these rectangles, A, B, C, D. And the question is, how are they related? So look at them carefully and let us know which two are the same color. Is it B and D? Is it A, B, D, but not C? This is C. Is it all of them are the same color, or A, C, or B, D? Now you get the idea, and I expect most of you to figure out, yes, most of you got A, B, C, D. And those of you who said other options, I mean, the eye is playing tricks on you. They're actually the same color. But because they're against different backgrounds, it keeps changing. Khadija, we lost you on that one. I think Farah, you're going to maintain the lead, and you are the fastest because you got the system down. Well done. So you win watermelon. Okay, so yes, so let's take a look at that. You will see that when I combine them, they're all the same color. And if you don't believe me, here it is against black. It is the same color. But it's incredible how just they look different, right? It's hard to believe, but this and this, B and C, are exactly the same color. So we're going to go back now to our slides. We leave Menti for a bit. We'll come back, I think, to Menti. Yeah, this one. Okay, so now we're going to go to the source of this is a wonderful book written in the 1960s, still applies today. You can see on the covers, one of the ones we played. It's called Interaction of Color by Joseph Albers. Again, we have this book in our library if you wish to look at it. It's a tiny little book, but it's full of these tricks. All of these squares, guess what, are the same color, although they don't look it. Let's go to words now. We're shifting gears. Look at this cartoon from Charles Martin. This is one of my favorite cartoons because to me it reflects a lot of the way we think as designers at DIDI. So here's a girl. in a high school, sorry, in a kindergarten, with the teacher watching her, and the teacher's not saying anything, and there's a record player, so we assume there's music coming out, and the girl is doing a dance, and she's pretending to be a flower. When you look at her friends, though, they see different things. So this is fascinating. I want us to go to Menti and figure out, tell me in your own words, what you think she is saying. So let's go to Menti. Oh, sorry. What is the message of this cartoon? What do you think is the message? What is this cartoon telling us? What can we learn from this cartoon? Why does Hani love this cartoon? What is it telling us?
Different ideas?
Yes, write them down. Different perspectives, Yeah, write down your ideas on the Menti. Each one of us has, there isn't one right answer. Everyone has a different perspective. The difference in perspective is, sorry, I have my screen's covered. And the importance is listening to others. Yes, listening is very important. People have different perception. You guys are good. Showing how a flower can bloom is all about nature of life. That's a Fibonacci there. Variety and imagination, we all think differently. Yes, yes, you guys are going. This is awesome. Different point of view, different imagination, different perspective. And believe in yourself. I love that one as well, because you see how proud she is. And they're seeing it in different way. Everyone have their own ideas and thinking. And this is important. It's not just having a different idea, but accepting someone else's idea. Remember last year's theme in the UAE, the year of tolerance? It's accepting the other idea. So if I'm the little girl dancing and saying I'm a flower, and a friend of mine sees a fish, I'm not going to say, no, you're wrong, I'm doing flower. I'll say, oh, that's fascinating. Tell me more, why do you see a fish? Maybe I can learn, maybe I can become a better flower, or maybe I can be a fish flower. And then new ideas, and that's how innovation happens. Through tolerance and accepting others and receiving feedback, we have actually can develop innovation. I think that the message is that people have different perceptions. Yes, they do. Everyone has a way to think, freedom, and to respect everything. Yes, and respecting, feeling enjoyable and exciting, beautiful. Not everyone thinks the same, a range of variation in thoughts and perspectives. You guys are awesome. I love this. You have beautiful answers, and you've given justice to this wonderful, wonderful cartoon. Okay, so now, as you noticed, what we want to do is I want you to draw on a sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be graph paper. Draw happy. How would you show someone, like she said flower. Now I'm asking you to draw happy. How would you make happy? And how would you make sad? These are pretty simple in a way. Happy is easy to do. So I'm
maybe someone smiling.
Yeah, exactly, a smiley face. And sad, you just flip the mouth and it's sad. And we understand that. Most people understand that. Usually we have a rule called the 80-20 rule, that you want 80% of the people to understand, and you want 20% not to understand the opposite, right? So if I told you happy's on the left and 20% said, no, that's sad, then your drawing needs help to get them there. We're not saying that 20% don't understand. That's okay if they don't understand, but we want them to understand, not the opposite, okay? So now, big and small, how would you draw big and small? And I want you to notice something, because these are relative terms.
Big square and small square.
Okay, you can do a square. I did a circle, but you can do a square. But what you need to do actually is, oh, okay, sorry, I forgot to say you can color them also to give them more meaning. For big, I mean, this is big because it's inside a frame, you understand it, but you'll understand it better if you made a small circle. So now if I put these next to each other and you ask a 2-year-old, what is this? And they say, oh, it's a big circle. And you're right. And this one, small circle, they'll also say this is blue and orange. Here, color doesn't really help as much as on the other one. So let's do a more difficult one. How would you do up or down?
Maybe an object which is floating up, and then an object which is touching the ground.
Okay, so one you would place on top here, that's clever, and one down there. I have a simpler way. I just put arrows, right? And have you noticed that the arrows on the elevator are green going up and red going down? I just always wonder why red is going down. I don't know why. Now here's difficult ones. How would you draw motivate? And if you want to share your ideas on the group chat, please do, and we'll take a look at them. But how would you show motivate? So happy, sad, big, small, up, down are pretty simple ideas. But how can you express complex ideas like motivate and discourage? And the first time I gave this workshop, I honestly didn't have an answer. But with time, I was able to develop an answer. So in this case, I used the like symbol, and I made someone say it, like in a speech bubble, like saying it. And for discourage, I made a happy face in a black bubble with a cross in it. I don't know if that works for you. This is one way to do it. As the little girl is dancing, there is no right answer. Okay? So, and this is something I did when I was young. What do you see? You see stairs going down and stairs going up. It says up, down, but watch this. This is the fun part. Are you ready? If I flip it, it still works. You see that? Do you see that? Did you adjust your eyes? It still says down and up. Let's do that again because it's fun. So I'm always thinking visually. I'm always having fun with these things. So now, okay, this is going crazy now. Okay, enough. Okay, so now we're going to do squiggle birds. Those of you who know me know that this is my signature. What is my last name? Do you remember?
Asfur.
What does it mean? Yes.
Bird.
Bird. And what does this say? It says Hani Asfur, right? That's my signature. And I'm the dean. I'm not supposed to have a fun signature. I'm supposed to be really serious, you know. But this is my signature. So Hani Asfur. So if I draw the bird, I'm going to show you how to do birds. And this is from this is from Lexi Prager, who developed this technique. What I want you to do is draw squiggles. So I'm going to draw my squiggles. Maybe I'll change my pen. I'll use my favorite pen. So I'm going to draw squiggles. So draw like any squiggles that you have without thinking. So can you see my squiggles? You can make them complex or hard. Okay, did you do your squiggles? Now I want you to get like a marker, a red one, or because we're DIDI, I'm going to get the orange one. It's my favorite color. Look at my shirt, it's orange. And basically, what you want to do is to just simply add a beat. So look at your squiggle. Maybe I add a beat and some feet. And now you can have birds, and they can have different orientation. You see that? Maybe this one's looking up at the sky because its mama, it has an open beak. Its mom is getting her food. And let's see this one. Maybe this one is upside down. It's the other way. So I want you to find your birds in different ways. This is an interesting one. This was maybe this is maybe a fish. I think this is more of a fish swimming. It's easier to make a fish. And maybe this one is a funny creature with, maybe it's a snake, this one, right? So that's a snake, okay? So I want you to have fun with that. This is a good technique from Lexi Prager on how to do birds. So was that fun? Was that easy to do? Now you can draw birds. Sometimes I want you to, as a designer, to look at the world, and maybe you find scissors sitting on this piece of paper, and you say, oh, wait a minute, maybe I can make a bird from this, because you're trying to draw birds. This is what's on your mind. Let's say you found scissors on your desk. Let's make a bird. Can you make a bird of your scissors? Put your scissors on a piece of paper and draw a bird from it. Can you do that? Look how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use a thick marker, black one. These are the eyes. And it's going to have a nice crest, a curvaceous body, a nice tail, and curve. I'm going to give her legs, simple legs, maybe a wing, right? And look at my bird. See my bird? Is that a fun bird or what? So I want you to start looking at the world with the objects and try to see things in them. So if birds are on your mind, because I'm Asfour, birds are always on my mind. These are different ways to do it. Here you can see the bird again. I hope you had fun with that one. Now we're going to Mr. Triangles. This is a technique I developed to help people draw, to look like they can draw better people. So it's very simple, this one, because you will need sometimes to express your idea, drawing people talking to each other or doing a storyboard. And most of the time, what we do stick figures. So we put a stick figure like that. If you can do that, stop doing that and learn how to do Mr. Triangles, because it's much more rewarding to do. So how do you do Mr. Triangles? So make the head an oval, because if you make the head an oval, then you can have a direction for the head. With a circle, you cannot have direction. With an oval, you can have a direction. So I hope you know how to draw an oval, and I hope you know how to draw a rectangle, right? Make the rectangle about 2 ovals high. You don't have to, but you can. And he's called Mr. Triangles because his legs are Mr. Triangles. I want you to look at your body for a second and realize you're not made of lines, you're made of volumes. So if you look at this, you can see that it's more volumetric. It looks already much better. And for the arms, I hope you can draw triangles. You draw triangles. So this is Mr. Triangles. Now, when you want to put, you can also merge if you want. So once you learn how to do it, you can do it fast without drawing those vertical lines, but it's okay if you have the vertical lines. That's perfectly fine. So if you merge and give them color, look, he's wearing what I'm wearing today. And if you know how to draw ovals, make the feet. And only if you know how to draw ovals, make the hands. If you don't know how to draw ovals, don't do it. No, I'm kidding. I mean, of course you can do this. It's so simple. But already, if you look at the Mr. Stick and Mr. Triangles, I think it looks like Mr. Triangles is a happier person altogether. Now, also, what I want you to notice is that we have a tendency to put the eyes on top of the head. But that's a common mistake. So immediately correct yourself, and whenever you want to put the eyes, make sure you put them in the center of the oval, right? This looks weird, but look now. You see that? Oh, he looks good now. He looks so good. He looks like me now.
Because of the forehead, you need space for the forehead.
And the glasses. So see, that's me now. I'm wearing my orange shirt and wearing a DIDI here. You can see my DIDI proudly pin. You can see it there. So now let's draw other people. So if we were to draw a Mrs. Stick, she would look like this, more or less, right? At least she has some volume. But let's draw Mrs. Stick there, or Mrs. Triangles. All you have to do is extend the rectangle. You see, all I did was extend the rectangle. It's the same legs, right? If I hide this rectangle, you'll see it's the same legs, same arms. And what I did, I tilted the head to show you that you can actually turn. And a big piano is going to fall on Mr. Triangles, but he doesn't know it. Mrs. Triangle sees it, and she points to says, oh, look out, honey. there's a piano going to fall on your head. So you can make them express things in a much better way. And he's like, huh, what you talking about, right? And you can easily color them. So this is my wife, Rula. She's telling me she has purple eyes. She's saying, look out, my love. You're going, and I say, it's okay, I'm going to be fine. But notice that the eyes are in the middle always. And then you can add hair, no hair in my case, but there you go. So I hope you learn how to do very simple technique to come up. You can do this in seconds. So please stop making stick people, because it's not professional looking. It's not what a designer would do. And just make it simple, especially if you're sketching in a hurry. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a face. This comes from Graham Shaw. I'm going to give you a link to a website where Graham Shaw teaches this technique. I'm teaching you his technique entirely. So if you say you cannot draw a face, well, I bet that you can. So the first thing I want you to do is to draw a C. Can you draw a C like that? So there's a C. And then, can you do a 6? I hope you can write a 6. And then write another one. Another 6. You can color in the counter. You can color in the counter of the 6. Easy. You can do a C and 6s. That's easy. Can you do a backward C and make it roughly around the same height as the first C, but make it backwards, slightly to the right. So here's mine. And I hope you can do a line like that. I guess that's very hard to do. If you can't do this line, you can do this line as well. So just add some funny lines, as many as you want, right? I hope you can do that. And can you do I don't know, like a line like that from under the first C, and then give it a closure on that side. That's easy, right? And can you do that? Oh yes, I can do that. That's easy. And this is the most important part. Make a squiggle line, but make it from underneath the first C, which is now you know is the nose. So make it from the left of the mouth, under the nose, and let it come down. You see? And then maybe you give this nice gentleman a t-shirt, and you can add lines. There you go. You can see how we did this man. And this is me. I did me after I did the Graham Shaw technique. And if you join the DIDI, these will be your teachers. They'll have eyes shaped like 6s. You have Professor Sejal, Mirko, Rafi, and Carlos. We have other teachers, but these will be the first-year teachers. So, and here's a link to Graham Shaw's technique. This is what he looks like. We kind of look alike. I need to lose some weight to look more like him. But this is his technique. If you go to TED.com and you look up Graham Shaw, and the video is called Why People Believe They Can't Draw, and you will see how much I'm influenced by him. And we're about to reach the end of the this workshop, because we're going to now walk through a piece of paper. Oh, by the way, coming back here, what I'm trying to show you here is that if you just fine-tune your technique, you can draw anyone that you want. You can really draw them, all your friends. You can draw yourself, you can draw your friends, you can draw anyone in this way, just by noticing some of their features. Like with Sejal, I focused on his hair and beard, with Mirko on his hair and glasses, with me on my glasses and my bald head, for Rafi on his beard, mustache and glasses, and with Carlos on his thinning hair on top and his beard as well. But if you notice, it's very, very simple to do. You can, I want you to draw your friends or draw yourselves, and they're going to be so impressed with your new skills. So coming back here, so now what we want to do is, you have a big challenge I'm not going to show you how until you try it. What I want you to do, I want you to read this carefully. Cut a hole large enough for you to walk through an A4 sheet of paper. And an A4 sheet of paper, my friends, you cannot fit in it. And you have to cut a hole. Cut a hole meaning that all around the hole there's paper, right? So all around the hole there's paper. There's a paper with a hole in it, and I want you to walk through it. And you're going to tell me it's impossible, but by now, I think you should realize that designers, nothing is impossible. Everything's possible. There's a solution to everything if you think in a lateral way, if you think visually, if you think imaginatively and creatively, you are going to find an answer. So I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to give you a few minutes to actually come up with that. And while you are doing that, I'm going to play some jazz music. So don't peek. I have one answer. Again, it's one simple answer, right? And it's not the only answer. So let's play some Keith Jarrett as you are doing that. I'll give you like 5 minutes to figure it out. If you want to share things on the chat, please feel free to do so. And you can turn on your camera if you want to show us something. We'll take a look. Again, there is no right answer. All answers are possible as long as you follow the rules. Turned off the music so we can hear you. Let's see what you did.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, now. Okay.
This is Nilavu?
Yeah.
Cool. Show me. Oh, wait a minute. How did you figure that out?
Oh no.
Okay.
I guess like a few days ago I saw it somewhere online.
So, oh, okay. So you went online and you checked.
Oh no.
Okay.
No. Oh my god. Wait.
Show me. Yeah.
Okay. Let's try and get this separated first. Okay. Wait 1 sec. Wait, let me separate it first and then I'll turn on my...
Yeah, I think we need to see it separated. Right now, it doesn't look like a hole yet. Who else wants to share while Nilavu is separating it? Okay. So Nilahu is on the right track, which is good. Maybe you can explain to us how you did it. Maybe we use the same technique. Anyone else wants to share? Hussein, you want to share?
Hani, there are 2 pictures in the chat.
Oh, good. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, so Tirtha, you just poked a hole and went through it. How? How will you fit? How? You must be tiny if you did that. Maybe from Gulliver's Tales, the Lilliputian. How can you walk through an A4? And Harsh, you did the same, yeah? But no. I can't open the file for some reason. The image.
You can actually.
How? Show me.
Hani, Hani, do you want me to show you the images that were sent to us?
Yes, please. They're not opening here.
So this is the picture.
Yeah, well, that's a hole, but I don't think you can walk in that. I don't think you can walk in that.
I think
You can? You can fit? Show me. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess next time I'll do an A5. So, because, yeah, you can fit. I can see you can fit. Okay. Yeah.
ready now. Yeah, because I finally separated it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, show us.
Yeah.
So here it is. Well, it's really
Amazing, Nilavu, amazing. Yes. And that's from an A4. And it's a hole because it's all around. Well done. Well done, Nilavu. Amazing. So you want to share with us how you did it? Or
yeah.
should I share?
I'll share. So
Okay, go for it.
basically, so I don't have any extra paper left. So basically, I just fold it
Yeah.
in half like this.
Uh-huh.
trying to match the corner like
Yeah.
that. And then I cut it like this, so there's a space in between.
Good.
That.
You didn't go all the way. That's right. Yeah. Good.
Leave a gap between here, or else it won't work. It'll just be kind of like torn to shreds.
Yeah.
So you have to do it like
That's the
this.
same technique. That's good. It's the same technique I used. Good.
Yes.
No, it gets floppy now. But yeah, it's important not to go all the way to the end. So what do you do next, Nilavu?
So once you do this, this is the part where it kind of gets flimsy. So you do this part, okay?
Yeah, so now you have to cut from the other side.
Yeah, like this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, here.
Yeah,
You don't cut all the way either.
Okay.
So cut about the same height.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me just finish this up.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
There. Okay. So now, so skip one. So this part, the first one that you cut like this, don't cut this one like this. So you have to cut the second one.
The second one, cut the fold. Yeah. Third one. Yeah. You're a pro at this, Nilavu. Well done. Yeah. Excellent.
Then you keep on cutting.
Nice. Nice. Awesome.
So you cut until the last one that looks like this.
Yeah. Awesome. Well done. And I'm going to show you now. Don't worry if you didn't follow Nilavu. I'm going to show you the same technique.
So you don't cut this part because, or else the whole thing will separate. It won't even be a hole.
Exactly.
Separate it like that.
Awesome. Look at that. And you walk through a piece of paper. Well done. So beautiful. Big hand for Nilavu for solving this problem. This is the same technique as I mentioned. There might be different ways of doing it. So let's do it together, step by step. So the first thing you need to do is take the A4 sheet and fold it in half along the long edge. Okay, fold it, make the fold clear. Here you can see how it's folded. What you want to do next is I'm going to draw with a marker. You don't have to draw with a marker, but I want you to see what we want to do. You want to cut. I'm going to draw in orange so you can see how I'm going to do it. So leave a gap, and this is what you have to cut. Make sure you stop. Make sure you stop before the end, and you want to start from the fold. Okay, so I drew them in orange so you can see them, and then cut along the orange so you can actually make sure you stop before the edge. That's the key thing to do. Okay, so now don't worry if the sheet becomes flimsy, that's okay. Okay, so now you want to do, so now we've cut that, now you want to do the opposite. So you want to cut the other way. I'm going to draw it in green so it's visible. So I turned it around. So now we're going to start from the side which is open. So this is what you're going to cut. Again, don't go to the end. So I'm putting this mark to know that you're going to stop. Okay, and notice that I left the first one on either end. I left the first one on either end open. I didn't do that. So now it's basically the opposite. And now you want to cut. I drew it so you see it. You don't have to draw. You can do like Nilavu and cut. And make sure you don't go all the way to the end, because then you will split the sheet and it will no longer be a hole. Okay, so now here comes, after this one, You'll notice your sheet is going to be super flimsy, but that's okay. We don't mind that. As long as you can see how we did it. You see orange to here, green from the other side. Now, so we do that for all of them. Make sure you stop before the end. And now, this is how it should look like. And don't cut the edges. Now, I want you to go back to the fold. Find where the fold is. Okay, find the fold, which is here. And don't touch them. Don't touch the edges of the fold. What you want to do is to take the second one and trim the fold, remove the fold from there, okay? So you do it for all of them except the ends. Don't cut the ends. Nilahu said, if you do, it's no longer going to be a hole because you're going to lose the edges. So you cut here on those ones, you're basically trimming the fold. Shall I cut this one? No, don't cut that one. And what you do next is the last step, which is basically you open it and voila, you have a big enough hole. Now I'm going to move to this camera. So you can see a big enough hole that a grown man like me can walk through it. Oops, I broke. So I should not have broken. That was clumsy of me, but it's actually perfect otherwise. I hope you had fun doing that. I hope now that you can see that the impossible is actually possible with a little creative thinking, lateral thinking, and behind this door is what we do at DIDI, where we think that impossible is nothing, what Adidas used to say, because we made it possible. And you made it to the other side by crossing over from the world of the box to a world where there is no box. Thank you very much. Look what we covered: paper special, golden ratio, Fibonacci, thinking outside the box, combinations, colors, words, squiggle birds, Mr. Triangles, face, and walking through a paper. So what I'd love to do now is to hear final words from you to tell us how was this workshop and how it went, and you can ask me after that any questions. So we're going to go to Menti again. It was awesome listening to your replies, people. I really enjoyed it. Super smart group. Oh, before we do that, yes, ask me anything. I'd love to hear questions from you. You can type in your questions and I will answer them as the best of my knowledge. If I can't, then maybe one of the team. And as we are doing this, I'm aware that we are at 5 p.m. now. If you want, I'd love for you to stay. I'd love to answer your questions. I'm here to answer your questions. How am I today? I'm feeling great because you guys were awesome. You were really engaged and you really had very intelligent and good solutions to everything. I'd also like to thank the team, Razan, Almond, Hussein, Aisha, everyone who's behind the scenes okay, does DIDI currently have or will ever have an architecture program? Well, today you saw that I introduced the idea of a habitat program, which is related. Right now, we don't have any plans, but it's definitely on our radar. That is something that we're considering, but no promises yet. So at the moment, no, but it's definitely on the radar. I'm an architect. I studied at MIT and at Harvard, and I know the power of design and architecture. So I'm partial to that. At the same time, we think that in Dubai, there are great architectural programs. Until we come up with a new way of teaching architecture, we will not offer it. Thank you so much. I genuinely lived your workshop and enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you for saying that. That's wonderful to hear. How did I get into design? I was drawing all the time, but I didn't like fine arts. I didn't like painting. I didn't like, but I was drawing all the time. And then when I was 15, I went to a course for extension program that taught graphic design, and I fell in love. I was like, this is exactly what I want. I didn't even know it existed. And then when I wanted to go to college, there were no graphic design schools. So I studied architecture, and I ended up being an architect and loving it. But I believe in total design, not just, I don't believe that design should be in different categories. It all should be total design. Good question. Will you have competitions, and when? Yes, we do. We have the project design space. Razan, if you are there, you can maybe say a few words about that.
So we do project design space in collaboration with schools. So if you're a school student, you can reach out to your teacher and they can reach out to us. We usually do it in the spring semester of your school. So your teachers will know more about that, and we're happy to contact them as well.
Awesome. I'm an architectural engineering student. What's the best advice you can give for people like me? I would say master the technologies that are coming out, master the tools, master the 3D visualization programs, but don't become an expert so you don't get plugged in doing renderings. I don't expect you to be doing renderings, but I expect you to know how these tools work and go into fabrication. Fabrication is huge. 3D making, robotics, all of these things, just know them very well. That's what I would recommend. But how do we draw realistic eyes? Okay, that would be another workshop to do. What you need to do is to separate your logical brain, which likes to see symbols, from your visual brain, which actually sees. And the best way to do it is to actually observe. So if you look at my drawing, window, if I were to draw my finger, I ask you to draw a finger, you would draw it this way, right? This is how you would draw a finger. But if you actually look at your finger, what you will notice is that it's actually quiet. So you quiet down your logical brain and you just let your hand follow what it sees, not what it thinks. Okay, so what you start noticing is that now I can draw a better finger because what I'm doing, I'm actually looking and not thinking as much. So what you need to do, so which finger looks more realistic? And I did this real quickly. But this is the same thing with the eyes. What I want you to do is to look and let your hand follow what your eye sees without thinking that you're drawing an eye. And a good exercise would be to put the eye upside down, and draw it, because then your brain is not interfering. This is how you would do it. Try that. Does DIDI teach interior design as part of the BA design? No, we do not. It's part of, if we do, it'll be part of the Habitat program, but we won't have this before 2 years. So the answer is no. At the same time, I ask you, why do you want to do interior design? If you grow up in Dubai, most of the time you see interior design, so you associate good design with interiors. And I want you to think that design is much bigger than that. There's bigger demand for other types of design, like product design, multimedia, and fashion design. There's a big demand for them. So if you are a creative thinker, I want you to be creative also in thinking about what is the future of design. But if you love and total passion in interior design, perfectly fine. At the same time, I would make you want to ask yourself, why interior design? Oh, we did that. Thanks, you're most welcome. I've never enjoyed the workshop this much, absolutely. Thank you so much. I absolutely loved having you with us. You guys were awesome, really, truly. And if you want to share what you did and what you drew, just send it to us. Thanks, you're welcome. Something went wrong. Oh, when is the next workshop? Razan, you want to answer that one?
Yes, so DIDI is having multiple workshops. With the Ministry of Culture and Youth, we have one next week, but ourselves, we also have a workshop tomorrow. So you're welcome to sign up. Just go to our website, didi.ac.ae, and under events, you'll find all our workshops.
Thank you. Hope to see you there. What's the most valuable thing you've learned in DIDI as a dean or just as a member? Wow, that's a good question. I've learned every day is like a huge learning curve, and I think Razan can attest to that as well for you, Razan, right?
Yeah, even myself, I'm learning everything new every day.
Because the last time we started the university was never, although we've been involved, but it's never that we've had this wonderful opportunity that Dubai has given us, which is to actually create a space for the youth to become the best that they can be. And for me, the most valuable thing I've learned at DIDI is that inside every one of us, inside every one of our students, there's an A, like an A grade, like excellence. And the job of the dean and the job of the faculty and the job of the team is to recognize what that A is and bring it out. And if we don't bring out that A, then we need to continue learning to bring out that A. So every student has a jawhar, a jewel inside, but we don't always see it. And our job is to see it and bring it out. That's the most valuable lesson that I've learned so far. And I'm sure I'll learn many more. How do you, oh, this keeps coming back. How does one get into MIT? Laugh out loud. Well, I got into MIT by showing them my portfolio. So what I would recommend is show passion, dedication in your work. As a designer, MIT would look at your portfolio. You have to have good grades. At the same time, if your portfolio is excellent, like your artwork, your design work, shows your passion, you will make it. And this is how I got in. I got in literally by showing them my design work. And I was 17 at the time. So I'm sure you can do it. If I got in, you will get in. Are there other workshops or courses? Yes, I think Razan, you answered that one.
Yes, the link is also in the chat.
Can we have the link or email about the students program?
That's also in the chat, so you can email me, but you can go ahead, Hani, as well.
Okay. How can we have creative ideas and give our mind chance to create more? What I usually, this is a good question, and what I would say is to, I tell my students this and I tell them, don't tell your parents I said this. What I say is to stop thinking. What do I mean by that? I mean, stop your logical mind and open up your visual thinking. So today we did some exercises on visual thinking. Remember the combinations, how you can connect things with lines. You don't have to do the math. And the more drawings you do, the more openings happen. And the most important thing is to remove the word no from your vocabulary. Don't use the word no, don't use the word but. So switch from no but to yes and. So what I want you to do is to, here you have the way you say it, how can we have creative ideas and give our mind chance to create more, is to say, yes, I can have creative ideas and I can give to create more, instead of, your question is good, but most people say, no, I cannot have creative ideas, but I would like to do more. I would say just switch it from no, but your sentences, even in your daily life, switch from immediately saying no. We have a tendency as humans to immediately say no. And I want you to switch that and practice saying, yes, I can. And that opens up the whole universe, and people will respond to you in a much healthier way. So visual thinking, yes, and this is just the beginning. If you need more answers, let me know. In an MMD designer, I'm an MMD designer, but my designs are bad. They are not visually appealing. I don't know how to improve my designs or what to focus on improving exactly. What's your advice? My advice is basically to look at design books and we'll send you a list of design books that we recommended. DIDI books, not websites, because in the books they'll be more curated. Look at art. And also the book I recommended, the principles of universal principles of design, that book is easy to read, and get those to work. And most of the time, designs can be fixed by understanding proportion. So use proportion, understanding white space, understanding contrast. These three things: proportion, white space, and contrast. If you master those, I bet you in 10 minutes, all your, what you think are bad designs are going to be amazing designs, right? There's an A inside you. We want to get that out and make it visible. And thanks for being honest. I appreciate that. The first step towards recovery is understanding your challenges. So well done. I commend you for that. Can I do master's in DIDI if I have a tourism degree? Once we have a master's at DIDI, we don't have yet. Once we do, yes, you can come from, we would have a program that if you come from tourism or any other field, even medical school, you will be able to do a master's at DIDI in design. So the answer is yes, but we don't have yet the program. We are working on it, maybe another 2 years, inshallah. Can I work as an interior designer if my combination is product and fashion design? In theory, yes, because what you're learning are design basics that you can apply in everything. In fashion design, you will learn about textiles, and you will learn about fabrics and product. You will learn how to make things, like maybe if you're interested, you can do furniture, you can do objects that can go in interior design. However, we won't teach you the interior design basics. So if the company you're looking for is looking for lateral thinkers, they should be able to hire you. But if they are more conservative and they want someone with interior design, pure interior design, our program won't prepare you for that. But the world is changing. And I know that when I worked as a web designer, when I joined the company, I told them, I don't have any web design experience, because it was in the early days, so no one really had any web design experience. And you know what the guy said, the interviewer, he said, that's better, that's what we want. We don't want anyone with baggage. So it depends on the company. So I can think that a company like Bene or Vitra or Herman Miller, which are leaders in furniture design in the world, they're from Europe, all three, and we all have relationships with them. If you tell them you graduated from DIDI with product and fashion design, I'm pretty sure they would hire you. I'm pretty sure. But I wouldn't, because they are progressive and they understand. But if you're looking for a more traditional program, it won't be at DIDI. I hope that answers your question. Does DIDI have an international credit transfer system for the BA design program, and to which universities? We are accepting transfer students today. We do give credit to some courses. We are developing a program now with Parsons where our students can go study there. So we were supposed to go this summer, but we haven't yet implemented. As you know, DIDI is very new, so this is definitely on our agenda. However, we haven't implemented it yet, and having the lockdown didn't help us move forward. So our intention is to have a program with MIT and Parsons, who are our partners. At the same time, we're open to other universities. We're talking to University of Melbourne in Australia. We're talking about the Art Institute in Łódź in Poland. We're open to that. We definitely believe in collaboration. Right now, we can only accept transfer students coming to us. We haven't had the experience of sending students over there, but that's in the works. Just be patient with us as we get it all in place. How to start or prepare portfolio if you don't have any official design degrees? I'm sure you're creative in many areas, so you don't have to have an official design degree. The portfolio could show any creative endeavor that you enjoy. It could be dance, it could be music, it could be collage, photography, anything that you, painting, drawing, of course, So you don't have to have an official design degree to be creative. So just show what you are passionate about, and it should come through in there. So show any creative venture. And we do run workshops on portfolio building. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out and just send a note to Razan or to the team and say, I would like to see portfolio workshop. We have one ready. We've run it in the past, and we'll be happy to run it again if there is interest in people like you who want to do it. Thank you very much for great efforts. We learned lots of things. Everything was amazing. Give our mind a chance to create and improve ourselves. We'd like to attend more of these workshops. You are most welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated. We'd love to have you back and see you more. I really enjoyed this workshop. I really thank you. I really enjoyed having you with us today. Thank you very much for clarifying. You're most welcome. Smiley face as well, back to you. I'm currently designing a dream house, but I don't know how to incorporate ideas. Any advice? Make it simple, right? Make it simple. That's my advice. MashaAllah, I read that MIT architecture major is ranked number in the world. It is indeed. It is indeed. And it's MIT, the whole university is ranked #1 as per the standards of 2020. So we're very lucky to be working with them. This was great. Thank you. You're most welcome. Thank you all very much. We need to wrap up. I'm getting the signal. And now we're going to, if you have time, just give us some words about how it is. And I wish you a pleasant evening. Thank you for staying this late with us. And I hope to see you soon. So if you're still with us, just type in whatever you think and have a lovely evening. I'm signing off now. See you soon. Lovely having you. Thank you very much.